chronic ailments like diabetes, hypertension, asthma, eating disorders, and many of these kinds which are all essentially generated from within. All these things can be quelled from within if only we are willing to pay a certain level of attention to the innermost dimension of who we are. Inner engineering is a powerful process of approaching the inner core of who you are in a scientific manner, and this is definitely a way to create a healthful life.
Up until Shambhavi in January 2021, I've just been living with pain in the body. The first result I'd like to point out about Shambhavi Kriya is that it's had a tremendous effect on my physical well-being. Somehow, some way, I don't know the science behind it, but it's keeping me free of pain. Being able to sit without noticing my body for long periods of time, that has just had tremendous impact on my mental and emotional stability.
Recently, these papers have been published, maybe you already read it. A certain group of scientists and doctors in United States, from Indiana University, some from Harvard University and Florida, they studied people who've been practicing inner engineering. The genetic tendencies are changing simply with the inner engineering practices. So they recorded all these things, the biomarkers and everything. One thing that determines the nature of your experience and your mental and emotional condition is what is called as BDNF, that is brain-derived neurotropic factors. So the BDNF is higher in a positive way, threefold in 90 days. That means keeping your emotions in balance, keeping in a good state of experience and sharpness of mind, and pleasantness of experience shouldn't even be a problem. There is another dimension. You know what is a cannabinoid? In India it is known as ganja, or everywhere else it's known as marijuana. In different places it's known by different names. But essentially, these are plant extracts which have a certain influence on the mood and experience of the person. But there are millions of cannabis receptors both in your brain and across the body. Because you are supposed to produce it, you're not supposed to smoke it. So now, with the inner engineering practices, it's clearly… the biomarkers clearly establish that your endocannabinoid production is significantly higher. That means you are stoned by yourself. You don't need any outside help. But the impact of the endocannabinoids compared to the cannabinoids that come from outside are very different. It makes you intoxicated and super alert at the same time, because along with it, certain other secretions happen.
I took inner engineering. Like I said, this is a yoga class, so it's not like a place where you go to quit smoking. That's not what it's designed for. But because of taking this class, after a week, I completely stopped smoking. That's after at least 20 years of smoking, a pack a day. I just quit in a week. And then I quit smoking marijuana a week later. I started smoking marijuana when I started smoking cigarettes. Then anti-anxiety pills, gone within the month. I stopped drinking, I stopped smoking, I stopped doing all the drugs. They were all gone, which is amazing. And it happened so effortlessly when I look back. And I didn't go to this class to quit those things.
Genes which are fundamentally responsible for your immune system are also highly enhanced. So, from the laboratories in America, from the top universities in America, it's coming that clearly they're saying 220 genes which activate your immune system, they're all elevated because of the practice. You didn't drop from heaven, as some people believe. You evolved. The qualities of an amoeba, an earthworm, a grasshopper, a buffalo, every kind of beast that evolution went through, elements of those qualities are still with you. So, these are all compulsive tendencies. The evolutionary process, the modern neurology recognizes that there is a part of your brain which is reptilian, which is approximately the size of your fist. That means it's at that stage of development, which is instinctive and does things in a certain way. But over that, a flower of cerebral cortex evolved, which is a happening which happened after human spine became erect. Which is what makes you human, which is what gives you thoughts about universality of the existence, which is what gives you an idea that everything is one, which is what allows you to be a scientist, this is what allows you to be a spiritual seeker.
Imagine you are standing by a beautiful lake. The surface of the lake is still, reflecting the clear blue sky above. There are no ripples, no disturbances. It is a tranquil sight to behold. This calmness represents the state of bliss that can be experienced through meditation. Now, let's say you have been practicing meditation regularly, and over time, you have cultivated a deep sense of inner peace within yourself. When you encounter moments of happiness in your life, it's like throwing a pebble into that serene lake. There might be some ripples, some temporary excitement or elation, but the essence of the lake remains undisturbed. You enjoy the happiness, but you don't desperately cling to it, knowing that happiness, like all emotions, is transient. Just as the ripples settle back into the lake, you return to that peaceful center within yourself, unaffected by the changing emotions. Similarly, when unhappiness comes knocking at your door, it's like another pebble dropped into the lake, causing more ripples. But again, the depth of the lake remains undisturbed. You recognize the unhappiness, you allow yourself to feel it, but you don't get swept away by it. You understand that just as happiness doesn't last forever, unhappiness will also pass with time. So you don't resist it or try to suppress it. Instead, you remain in that calm state of equilibrium, like a rock amidst the waves. You let the waves of emotions come and go, but you don't lose your inner peace. This ability to stay centered in the face of changing emotions is a significant benefit of meditation and inner peace. It allows you to be more resilient and emotionally balanced in the ups and downs of life. Instead of being at the mercy of your emotions, you become the observer, watching them come and go without getting carried away. In the hustle and bustle of life, it's easy to get swept up in the constant pursuit of happiness and the struggle to avoid unhappiness. We often get attached to the good times and fear the bad times. But when you cultivate bliss, that serene lake within yourself, you learn to ride the waves of life gracefully. You still experience happiness and unhappiness, but you are not at their mercy. You don't let them define your inner state. You remain anchored in that calm, peaceful center. Ultimately, the practice of meditation and inner peace helps you connect with a more profound and lasting sense of joy and contentment. Bliss becomes an ever-present undercurrent in your life, even during challenging times. It's a state of being that transcends the fleeting nature of emotions and provides you with a steady anchor in the midst of life's storms. So just like the serene lake, undisturbed by the ripples on its surface, you can experience a profound sense of bliss within yourself, regardless of the fluctuations of happiness and unhappiness in the outside world. Now, let's consider the allure of happiness and why it is often more appealing than peace. Imagine you are at an amusement park with thrilling roller coasters and exciting rides. It is a blast, and you can't get enough of the excitement. This is like seeking happiness and ecstasy. It gives you that adrenaline rush and momentary thrill. Most people love these sensational experiences, and they want more and more of them. But when you are tired from all the rides and attractions, you might find a quiet garden or a peaceful spot to rest. Here, you can sit in tranquility away from the noise and excitement and experience a different kind of joy. This peace, however, might not have the same instant appeal as the roller coasters, but it's like a deep, refreshing breath for your soul. Bliss is not just happiness. It is a profound state of peace and inner stillness. It might not have the same immediate appeal as constant excitement, but it offers a deep transformation and a lasting sense of harmony within oneself. Like a cool, calm lake, undisturbed by the fluctuations of happiness and unhappiness, peace remains a timeless and valuable aspect of meditation and spiritual awakening.